Hi, so I'm Julie. You see me in my other videos. I'm a nurse. I work on a geriatric psychiatric floor. And I also love to travel. So I really work to travel. I'm making this video because it's not really that funny, but my aunt just had um, should have a 3 bypass surgery of her heart, a cabbage, and she's got a little bit of psychosis a little bit after surgery. And I was like, well, don't put her on my unit, because I used to always joke with her that like that patients on our unit, half of them, need to be DNRs. And I don't mean that in like a bad way, but the way I meant it is that we have a lot of patients that are really just, they come in and they might be in their late 80s, 90s, and they've got some form of dementia. There's several forms, and there's several that are more progressive than others, and their families want them to go home the way that they came in, but a lot of times they bring them in because they're being aggressive at home, or wandering away from the house, or peeing in the corner, or playing in their poop, or fighting when they're trying to shower them and are not wanting to shower at all. And so I think it is something that needs to be discussed with families when they come in, is whether they do want their loved one to have CPR if they were to die. Our expectations are not for them to die. In fact, we want everybody to live. But if their heart were to stop beating, I don't think a lot of people know what is involved with that, and what we have to do, and what it does to an old person, and especially a lot of them are really frail. And I think if that could kind of be explained, I think there'd be more decisions to go toward being a DNR. Plus, if your mom or dad are not your mom and dad anymore, if they don't recognize you, if they don't recognize your anybody in your family, and they're looking for their parents who are obviously deceased, sometimes it's just time to have that conversation. Everybody wants their parents to live forever. I wanted my parents to live forever too, but unfortunately they both passed. I never had to go through this conversation about them being DNRs for dementia, but we did have to make them both DNRs to go to hospice for cancer. So I do know what that feels like, and they were both younger than what they should have been when they died. But I can imagine, seeing them suffer more, and I can imagine what families go through. Well, I can't imagine it because I see it, what they go through when they don't recognize them, or they think they're back in their childhood. They're looking for their car keys or whatever that they're doing out, or trying to still work a job that they did when they were younger. So, it is hard. It's a hard thing. So I was just thinking about it because I'm about to go into work, and kind of just wonder what your thoughts were about it, or where a lot of people stand on it. I know it's not an easy decision, and I know sometimes it sounds callous when nurses say that people should be DNRs, and that's everyone's decision to make. That's not mine. Whatever you want your parent to be, that's what they'll be. If you want us to do CPR, that's what we'll do. If you don't want us to do it, we won't. I mean, we're here to support you in whatever you want to do. But sometimes I think there is a time to draw a line. And when they stop eating and stop drinking and stop taking their meds, it may be the time a time to talk about something like that. And again, a lot of people I do see get better, like they maybe they have something medical wrong, like a urinary tract infection, or we've even seen people that have had COVID that came in that were acting, kind of not themselves, and even being older, that once that cleared up, their delirium, they were able to clear up and go home. But when they're in a nursing home and they're pulling people out of the bed and fighting with the staff or whatever, that's when we get them. And usually that's kind of the beginning of the end for a lot of them, unfortunately. And a lot of times, the more medicine you give them, the more risk of them falling. But if you don't give them enough medicine and you send them back to the nursing home, well, then they send them right back. And then the next nursing home that will take them is a worse nursing home. And so you get like this cascade of events to where, every nursing home won't take you because you've been kicked out of so many. But families don't want to see their loved ones sedated either, but there's kind of a fine line between being a little bit sedated and then not, getting kicked out of the nursing home once you're discharged, because I work in acute care facility, not a long-term care, so they can't stay there forever. And it is hard, and I can imagine having to be on the other end of that. So anyway, I'm just blessed that my parents went as peacefully as they could, and I didn't have to see them not know me or anything like that. But my prayers do go out to all the families of that have patients or family members that have dementia. Even young people can have dementia if they've had some type of traumatic brain injury or an anoxic brain injury. So it doesn't just affect old people, it affects young people too. And if there's just one thing I could say about it, it's just, be there for each other, take that time away that's needed. If there's a support group in your area, join that, because everybody needs their group of people. Anyway, that's all I had to say, and I hope you all have a good night. Bye-bye.